Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. I'm Jim. I'm here with my partner Steve, my brother, and also the other Mono. Welcome.
Welcome.
24th day of July.
Right.
Hard to believe.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy Saturday. And somebody have a monologue today?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Huh.
I'll say our monologue this week is sponsored by Coriano Trucking.
Of course it is.
And we wish him and his daughter all the best at her wedding this weekend.
We have a wedding with our sponsor today.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Guy and his lovely daughter and
Danielle. Yep.
Danielle. And have a great time. And
I'll
couldn't
jump
be
into it.
happier for you guys.
You bet. So my monologue this week is the Olympics, and I've had a lot of mixed feelings on this Olympics thing while it's been going on, and we know we're in the midst of a pandemic. It's a terrible situation there, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine about maybe we should have postponed it. And again, I don't the politics of it all. I really don't want to get into, but you know what? I think it's a good thing. I think it's something that this country could use where everybody rallies around the athletes. And I must give a shout out to Tokyo because although it was an empty stadium, the opening ceremonies was awesome. There was a piece that looked like a Blue Man Group kind of thing, and they covered all the sports that were in it, and it was awesome. But I just wanted to say I think it's a good thing, and I hope everybody stays safe. But it's a trying time with this pandemic. And when I was thinking about it, I remembered Steve and I back in 1976 Olympics. We watched every single second of every moment in the Olympics, and it was the boxing, right? The Sugar Ray Leonard team, and there's so many different sports now, right? There's actually skateboarding in the Olympics, which I don't get. But I remember this, and you and I were sitting in our living room and watching Bruce Jenner, and who knew he was going to grow up to be this beautiful woman,
Stunning.
But it was awesome back then, and I'm going to watch it, but I just wanted to give a shout out and say, hope all the athletes stay safe, and that's my monologue for the week. What are your thoughts on the Olympics, Steve?
My thoughts, I'm completely opposite of your thoughts.
Okay.
I don't see the upside of having this. I understand from an athletic perspective, and I get that.
Because their shelf life is very short.
I understand that, but, pandemic, etc., empty stadium, Tokyo, they had to have these games, okay? One way or the other. There's so much invested in this and being selected as the host city, etc., etc. But I got to tell you, I'm not
as enthusiastic as you were in 1976?
No, I'm not even enthusiastic, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Will I tune in? Of course I'll tune in.
Right.
But
for the air rifle competition,
Yeah.
Those ridiculous things. But
no, that I will not tune in for. But
I remember we used to watch weightlifting with Vasily
Absolutely.
Alexei.
Totally. Right. I mean, growing up, the Olympics was a special thing.
But don't you think it's a good time for something like this?
And we're actually old enough to actually remember Mark Spitz.
We are.
In 1972,
Yes.
right? We were just coming into,
I
our brains were forming in our memory and
I was
our
9 years old
and
at
being
the time.
cognitive, appreciating Mark Spitz, right?
But the overall thing with the Olympics, it's something that's, I don't know.
Nadia Comaneci in
Oh, we remember
'76,
that,
and
absolutely.
on and on. To Mary Lou Retton and on and on, right? It's just,
I just think it's a good time for something like this, though. I wasn't on board with it for a while, and I wasn't sure that it was worth the risk. But you know what? I think it's something that young kids who are 9 years old today may reflect 40 years later.
let's hope
and
so.
say,
But young kids at 9 years old don't even watch TV anymore.
But
Let's
we
be
did,
real.
though.
We
I
did.
mean, yeah.
I mean, for us, it's special, and our audience,
Yep.
is a mature audience, and
it
they
is.
have their memories too. I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, good monologue and acknowledging that the Olympics are going on.
Yep.
But it's it's
And I must say, there was something yesterday.
it feels empty.
I think there's over 200 countries, and some of them I've never heard of. And I don't know. I'm going, that's a country?
Really.
I thought it was like going, wait a minute. I never heard
Come
of that.
on.
Were they ever in a war?
Exactly.
But anyway, let's move on. Let's do a recap of our British Open from last week. How about this? Colin Morikawa wins it. First time, right? Second major.
Yes.
Right?
But made history. I mean, first time playing the British, and his PGA first time playing the PGA.
The Open Championship.
Right, but the kid deserved to win. Jordan Spieth, you got to give him credit. He battled, and
but he missed a couple
he
of
did.
three-footers
Listen,
that cost him the tournament.
No, I wasn't crying about that. Yeah. But again, your heart goes out to Louis Oosthuizen, right?
Yeah, we like him, actually.
We do, right? And it's just
like
it's uncanny that the guy, gets the course record, the first 2 days, breaks Sir Nick Faldo's record.
Yeah, they were tearing it up.
But,
it awesome.
He's on a great stretch, but he just can't win. And it's not like it was heartbreak on Sunday for him. I mean, he had the day that we anticipated he was going to have.
But he came in top 5 again.
He did. But I was pulling for him, but I knew the wheels were falling off. And Morikawa,
anybody picked Morikawa to win that?
You did, but I'm buying stock on him now. I just didn't know enough about him or really watched him intently.
There's just been something about him that's drawn me to him.
No, this kid, he's the real deal now.
Yeah.
And
good kid, too.
Yeah, great kid.
Articulate.
Absolutely.
And, awesome.
Absolutely. Brooks Koepka, was in the hunt. He finished, I think, 8 under or something like that.
Yep.
So,
Top 10 again.
the 4 majors are done, and we'll go next year. But the FedEx is coming up, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
DeChambeau, we talked about. I'm
throwing his sponsor under the bus.
Yeah,
how about that?
Listen, he's not helping himself.
And Koepka had some good comedy.
Totally.
With that.
Koepka's absolutely
Love my driver.
Exactly. Brooks is absolutely winning the PR war here.
Yeah.
But it's the British Open. We love it, and
Yeah, final major of the year, which is unusual because we always got the PGA in September or something, right? And offset the other sports going on.
Yep, but I loved every minute of it. So, yep.
Hey, let's move on. There was something very interesting last week because we talked about it on the show. It was the Haskell Invitational in Monmouth Park down in Oceanport. And you know how much I love horse racing. Been watching Saratoga. The meet's just underway, second week. But there was, and when you're watching horse racing, it was Hot Rod Charlie, who we picked. Right? We said it was the first time in the Haskell that there were 3 second-place finishers.
Which I thought was cool.
And it was awesome. And Hot Rod Charlie's tearing it up, and then a spill, on the thing, and it cost him the race.
Right.
But it was a beautiful day, and the jockey is fine, right? He got trampled over, but he's pretty good.
Yep.
But with Saratoga, and I watched the Diana Stakes over the weekend. It was just, listen, horse racing is gorgeous. I know there's a lot of protests, and we talked about this before about horses, the treatment of horses, but. How about the Bob Baffert, Supreme Court judge in New York overturns this thing. So is he going to have horses at Saratoga? We'll see.
Right. The story is not over, and it's not like Baffert can't afford the best legal representation. So,
but we were Hot Rod Charlie guys all along, and I was pretty surprised. I watched the race, and I didn't think he intentionally, cut the guy off, but it was, horse racing is in full peak form this summer.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let's move on to the NBA, right? National Basketball Association.
Yes, I got that wrong.
What about it?
I
had the Suns too.
I said the Suns, right? And the only reason I said it was, and I said it last week, I thought each team would win their home games, and the Suns had the one extra game. But listen, Giannis,
Stud.
you cannot.
Stud. Can't deny his
Right.
his
Listen,
rightful
right.
place in the NBA.
That's
today.
a good way to say it. He has now cemented himself. Listen, 50 freaking points, right? But what I found was just like watching this, like how they just, from a defensive standpoint, this guy's killing you. Can somebody guard him? No, they couldn't.
I'm going to venture to say the guy's unguardable. I mean,
Right.
you could have put three guys
There's
on him.
There's certain games, certain times. We've seen it with Jordan, obviously. You've seen it with Wilt. You've seen it with LeBron. You've seen it with the special players. Right. There is nothing you can do
to stop this train from pulling in the station.
Correct. And it applies to all sports, right?
And it's a good story because he signed with Milwaukee, said, I want to do this, and he did it.
And he's a good kid.
He is a good kid.
And he did. He made a little jab at, it's easy to go somewhere else. Harden, LeBron.
Don't get me started.
Et cetera, right? And,
So here,
and I think what's it been, 50 years now? Since Milwaukee and the Big O and Lou Alcindor and
here's a good little
your Larry Costello from Niagara.
I was just going to get this the first time in 50 years that the Bucks won a title without a coach from Niagara. I was going to bring that up. I was had it in the holster the whole time.
They had an awful lot of coaches in between.
Okay, but so what? He was a Niagara coach,
Hey, listen, and the coach Budenholzer too. So
they were trashing this guy after the first two games, and he stood up and listen. He's got the best player in the league.
But and now that Milwaukee's won, right?
And Chris Paul's going to go to the Lakers because he needs a championship.
I just want to make this statement. Now that Milwaukee has won, it really, I put a lot of stock in the last 2 years for them to fall short, to get playoff experience.
Well, they have. It's been 5 years.
But the Suns are young. Chris Paul aside, right? The Devin Bookers and the Ayton and all these guys, right? This is good for them, right? But I think Chris Paul is definitely going to go to the Lakers, and I think it's going to be LeBron there.
Because that's David. What LeBron wants.
Yes, and that's
commissioner.
That's what Chris Paul wants. He wants a ring, and that is the most logical landing spot.
So put this into perspective from an NBA. He's in his player option year. So if he opts out of a $44 million contract,
yes,
to not win a championship. And the Lakers, they're going to pay him $45 million?
Probably.
Out of LeBron's own pocket, probably. I'm actually glad it's over, but I wanted to give kudos to Middleton.
Yeah.
Right? Giannis.
Absolutely.
This Connington guy from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They all
Brooke
stepped
Lopez.
Up. Bobby Portis, Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
They earned it.
They did.
They earned it.
And
I'm glad that it happened.
They're deserving. And I'm glad it happened in Milwaukee.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
But we both had the Suns because I thought they, once they were up 2-0, it was a done deal.
So will Chris,
I'm going to say,
is Chris Paul going to be Charles Barkley and not get a title? Not unless he goes to the Lakers. If he goes to the Lakers and they stay healthy, that Paul, James,
what about
Davis,
the super team in the East?
I will take Paul, LeBron, and Anthony Davis against the big three from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know, but they made this Harden thing happen so they could bring a title back to Brooklyn.
Good.
So
and they're stuck with him.
Right. Enough with the NBA. Let's move on to the NHL. There was some trades today. Rangers traded Buchnevich today.
Yeah.
To the Blues.
I'm not surprised by it because he was a restricted free agent.
A lot of moving and shaking.
We weren't going to be able to pay him going forward, and you have to, Drury knew the job. He's picking his pieces. Love the move of Barclay Goodrow that they got from Tampa.
Yeah.
And they're not done.
I
also think moving Buchnevich may help in the Eichel sweepstakes. I think
that's happening anyway.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but Drury's going to do everything in his power to explore it, and if it makes sense, I won't be surprised if Jack Eichel comes to the Rangers, and I'm all for it.
Taylor Hall's re-ups with the Bruins
Okay.
today.
Yeah.
Which you thought was going to happen. He wants to play for the Bruins.
That's fine, but
Right.
he has not been producing the last year or two. But
he had a pretty good year with the Bruins, though, after a tough stretch.
We shall see if Taylor Hall becomes Taylor Hall again.
Right.
Right.
Former MVP in the league, though.
Right.
You got to give him credit.
And the Seattle Kraken are now official.
We got any wise Krakens?
Yeah, we can.
That was one. But I saw an interview with Ron Francis, and we remember Ron Francis when he came into the hockey league. He was 18 years old,
For the Hartford Whalers.
and he went to the Hall of Fame, and now
Wow,
he's
he
running
was
the thing.
mad.
But it's so funny to go, how old are we getting? We remember Ron Francis at 17 or 18 years
No
old.
question.
But there was a couple things we talked about. They didn't pick up Corey Price, and you were right, because his contract was, a little over the top
Yeah,
for their
they
budget.
didn't get Tarasenko
Right?
because they're not going to pay these guys out of the gate, right? They're building this, right?
But the hockey players are also the most underpaid players in sports.
Well-
Baseball, basketball, and football, these guys are making ridiculous money.
But it makes sense because they don't. The NHL doesn't generate what the other three sports.
I know,
it,
but
it just doesn't.
But they're just as equivalent athletes.
Of course
and
they are.
deserve their piece.
But the economics are not anywhere
it.
near the other three.
I get it.
Jordan Eberle on the Islanders gets back.
Blackwell from the Rangers.
Right, I knew he was going. I knew it. And the Rangers knew he was going to go. But hey, you got to give up one, and now we move forward, right?
guess.
So
I guess.
Seattle is, they got a roster now, and they'll drop the puck in,
And
late October.
opening night of the NHL next season is the Vegas Golden Knights, the
Against-
last expansion team, versus the Kraken.
Good.
Good marketing,
Yeah.
right? Moves to ESPN for the first time
Absolutely.
in 15, 16 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So listen, we're disappointed that hockey's over because we love hockey, but there's a lot of moving and shaking, and looking forward to next season.
And I'm going to go on record again. I mean, Tampa didn't
Yeah,
get decimated by any stretch of the imagination, and
you're thinking they could pull an
I
Islanders
do.
4 people?
I don't know. Let's get to 3. I think they're capable because they still have that foundation.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Stamkos is actually a little bit older now. Now he's 32.
He's not even 32.
He's 32. He'll
Is
be
he?
32.
Oh, all right.
Right.
He's had a good career.
Right.
Actually.
And the goalie they have is lights out, and Cooper's a good coach, et cetera, et cetera.
You got it. How about the National Football League, Steve?
Yeah.
Right? How's Hard Knocks going for you? I haven't seen it yet.
No,
But,
it's it will debut on August 5th, I believe, the first.
I saw Zeke's
episode will be.
comments on getting the vaccine and
Yeah.
so forth. So
Yeah. Listen, when Zeke speaks, I listen.
to me, he's no E.F. Hutton.
God.
But anyway, there's a lot going on with the NFL, actually. Talking about these guys that aren't vaccinated.
Yeah.
Vikings actually fired their coach
They
for not
did.
getting vaccinated.
That is
which
correct.
That'll go to the Supreme Court at some point, hopefully when we're alive. to see
Yeah,
how
they
it
could go to the
turns out.
Supreme Court. He's still getting he's fired.
Right. But,
The NFL is not joking around with this.
they're not.
You know why? The almighty dollar. If games are forfeited, and again, we're talking, even though now it's a 17-game schedule,
It is.
it's still such a finite schedule that if
A forfeit could possibly
oh,
keep you out of the playoffs.
well, a forfeit could spell doom from TV and
But
money.
that's not going to happen.
My
no.
point is that that's what the NFL is thinking here. Okay, they don't want any chance of game interruption. And listen,
Because I got some money.
I don't
to
know
make
if this
up.
memo leaked. I don't know whatever it is, but yeah, you ain't vaccinated and forfeit. We
don't want you around.
And we can't play. Well, you're forfeiting. Period. That's
Yeah.
it. And tough noogies.
But it becomes a whole social thing, political thing.
It does
and
because listen, if somebody doesn't want to get vaccinated,
it should be their choice.
exactly.
But you're probably making the wrong choice. I don't see why you wouldn't. But Anyway,
it's
you're right.
up to the individual.
It becomes
it's
an
still
individual
it's still
rights issue.
America, no matter.
Yep.
It's the NFL or whatever. Okay, if you peel the onion down, it's your individual right to choose. Okay,
guess,
so I get both sides, but this is not going away. This is going to be a big problem.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because the whole thing, we're talking about hospital workers getting fired because they're not getting vaccinated. This is just football. This is insignificant in the overall scheme of things.
Well, to my point, not to the NFL. It's Carl Sagan, billions and billions of stores.
And we've talked about this.
Billions and billions of dollars.
The only people that have more money than the NFL is the Treasury Department, right?
Right, and Bezos.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. We'll talk about the rocket ships or something maybe later. But
Yeah.
Anyway, and Aaron Rodgers turns down his contract, and I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to say it for the final time.
Final time?
I hope the Packers just say, then you sit on the sideline and don't get your contract.
No.
That's all.
It's not going to happen.
They're going to force a trade?
He's not going
Is he
anywhere.
going to be the quarterback of
He's
the
not
Denver
going.
Broncos?
No,
or
he's
going
going
to
to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm going to say he shows up at training camp if it gets to this ridiculous stage the week before. Aaron Rodgers is a smart guy.
Okay.
We know that.
He could make just as much money off the field.
All he is doing is tweaking the Green Bay Packers management. That's
it.
it.
It's a principle thing, and he's under contract, and he should just put your microphone
All he's
down.
doing is
I can't take it
it's
anymore.
that simple.
Okay. Then sit on the bench and don't get your $40 million.
Oh, really? The Green Bay Packers are going to bench Aaron Rodgers. You really think that's going to happen?
I can't wait till this is either done one way or the other. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
I mean, even when this is done, the next one, then another silliness. I mean, Deshaun Watson obviously fell out of the news because of his situation, right?
What situation? He has a situation?
I don't know if he's had any massages lately outside the team complex.
Oh, God.
But you know what I mean. The point
We just want to
is,
see these guys play between the lines.
it just doesn't
That's
happen
all.
that way
I know.
anymore.
It's driving me crazy.
Right.
Let's move on to the Major League Baseball, Steve. Right? Yankees, right? There's a lot of trades going on. Trade deadline is
Soon.
Wednesday?
Yeah,
Thursday?
so, yeah.
Nelson Cruz. I looked up his numbers because he's been pretty good. He's actually 40 years old or 41.
Oh, yeah. It
He was
makes
traded
sense.
to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Which is a great move by them.
Oh, big time. Yankees got to make some kind of move because they're running out of.
Okay,
steam.
let's say they make a move.
I'm not. I don't know what the move is. I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying it's good. There's going to
As
be
of right now, my intel says they're sniffing Joey Gallo.
Yeah,
Okay?
he said that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, but San Diego wants Joey Gallo too. And where do you think?
San Diego's locked and loaded. They could win a world championship with that team. This kid Tatis, he can carry. that team.
I'm really starting to buy stock on now. Now that it's past the All-Star break, the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah,
And you know what? You know who the manager is? Gabe Kapler.
I remember him play for the Rangers.
Yeah,
or
but
something?
he was an absolute disaster in Philadelphia as a manager.
Yeah,
Bad.
I got it.
And I'm just acknowledging, okay? The guy learned this, that, and the other thing, whatever. He's doing a great job. San Francisco is ahead of the Dodgers by 2 games.
Yeah, surprised everybody.
Is that going to last? I don't know. But the point is, nobody, and I mean nobody, had San Francisco
Not even Buster Olney
being this good,
right?
being this good, and they are. They're that good.
And that's good
So
baseball.
I'm just tipping my hat to Gabe Kapler.
I like watching the Giants. I'm starting to dig this West Coast baseball with the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants.
Yeah.
But you're right. Nobody saw the Giants
No.
putting this kind of thing.
And then under the radar, the Arizona Diamondbacks are so bad, it's not even funny.
Okay.
I mean, it's not not even funny.
I know, but 30 teams, somebody has to be that bad.
Oh, okay. You know what they are on the road? 13-40.
I know. It's going to be a long season. Yeah, I get it. long season for the Snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about the Mets? They
Let's go
traded
back.
for Rich Hill today. How
Okay.
about that?
It's fine. He's 80 years old, but
know.
you know what? Rich Hill is a serviceable lefty. It costs him a bag of donuts.
I know.
Why not? It's an arm.
Exactly. Yeah, but
It's fine.
Yep. There's going to be more trades before this deadline's up.
Yeah, but
you know.
the Yankees. Can they make the playoffs? Yeah. What are they? 4.5, 5 out of the wild card. Big deal.
I know.
God,
You
if
tried
they-
to hang me last week that it would still win 98 games. So you're right.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I did, but
Yeah.
you said that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Why? You think it's still going to happen?
I'm not ruling it out. That's
Oh,
all. Just saying.
Yes. Okay. Big trouble in Yankee land.
Yeah, but there's going to
Our boy Garrett Cole. That's a. It's a start for $320 million that you need to win. I can't crush him. He's 10-5.
He's been-
His ERA
he's been
is
lights
under
out.
is under 3. I'm not. I think a lot of people understand my point. That's a start in Fenway Park. I expect Garrett Cole to bring home
What, to stop the bleeding for the Yankees? They don't
for
score runs.
$320 million. Yeah.
Come on. Past 4 starts, he's been lights out.
Okay.
No spider attack, no nothing. He's been lights out. He's that good.
Okay. So outside of Garrett Cole, is there a major drop off in the pitching on the New York Yankees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need for him to win that start.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
He won the previous 3 starts that he had to win, and he did. 129 pitches and right. Throws Aaron Boone off the mound when he came out to take him out. I mean,
Okay.
come on, this kid wants to play.
I am not knocking him. I'm a fan. I love him.
Okay, you're right. There's a lot of other
For
holes
the
to
80th
fill.
time. That's a start last night. I expect him to win.
I got it. All right. Boston's tough to beat. They're good this year. This kid Devers, they got a lineup. How about this guy J.D. Martinez though? This guy puts up numbers the past 5 years for the Red Sox. I think he's
I'm a
one
fan.
of the most dominant players that nobody even talks about.
All right.
I thought he got ripped off for the MVP a couple of years ago. His numbers should have won it, but
So let's go back to the Yankees Red Sox. So history is made. They go to extra innings the night before, not last night, the night before. They put this kid in nobody's ever heard of.
those 4 wild pitches.
First time in history in an extra inning, etc. But you're talking about the moment got a little bit too big for somebody.
That happens.
It happens. I get that.
It's like missing a foul shot. And
And you know what? The best thing that came of it, from a Yankee point of view, was when he was done with his shower, his bus ticket was waiting for him. And then I'm serious.
broken down bus
Boston to Wilkes-Barre.
with no air conditioning. I know. Listen, the kid gave it
I-
a shot,
I get it.
and because of that one performance, he may never get another shot.
He may never get. He will never get.
All right, so listen, baseball's underway. We're just past the halfway mark of the season.
I really like that kid. Where's that kid who threw those 4 wild pitches in the 10th inning to blow that game?
Didn't I just see him at 7-Eleven? Anyway, so baseball's underway, and our next segment is sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut, who we're trying to work out some getting together time, but we thank them for their support and loyalty to the show.
Cool.
This is our new segment. It's called Mono Points of Interest,
Can I go first?
and we got it. Go ahead. You can.
Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. If Texas and Oklahoma want to join the SEC,
They
they
will.
will be joining the SEC.
That was on my list.
I know.
It could change the whole dynamic of college football.
It not
though.
could. It will.
It will. These are
It will
two-
make the Big 12 so irrelevant. So I think what's going to happen is the ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-10, or Pac-12, whatever the hell it is, right? Excluding, I think, the Big 10, this super conference is going. The landscape of college football
It's happening.
is going to be so different 2-3 years from now It's unbelievable. Now, do I think Texas and Oklahoma can afford this $76 million fee to get out? Yeah, I think they can.
Think they can?
Yeah.
A couple of alumni will take care of that, but you're right.
Of course.
This is big. Big. And you and I have watched college football since we can, learn how to walk. And this is changing things. When
Right.
two of the most powerful teams in college
This isn't
football.
the Big East football, Connecticut and
Right.
or Boston College going to the ACC. This is big time stuff.
No, this is game changing.
Texas, Oklahoma want to go to the SEC. Good.
This is going to render the NCAA powerless.
They are powerless now.
Right. And now with this nil thing, and I wanted to bring that up, this kid Mikey Williams, a prep basketball player, and you and I talked about
Had
it.
a haiku week.
Hey, listen, if you can get paid to sign your name, that's fine.
Sure.
First prep kid, though. I mean, this kid is going to be the next, phenomenon. And we talked about nil. How about Bryce Young? And even Nick Saban goes, this kid's getting $1 million to sign his name. He hasn't even played. Yeah, I'm not even sure he's a starting quarterback.
That's right.
It's crazy.
That's right.
It's crazy, right?
So I still don't know how this is going to play out. And I'm just saying, Bryce Young comes to practice and he has $1 million in his pocket.
Right.
I don't know how that affects him mentally. I don't know if the teammates are jealous.
Well,
they're all going to say, "Oh yeah, good for him."
But he's playing for the hardest coach to please
Of
in
course,
sports.
$1 million or not, you better produce, Bryce Young.
Or you're not even playing.
But even if he gets benched, what does he care?
I get it.
You know what I mean?
That's what we talked about.
I know.
The nil thing is big.
And
Let's move
it's
on.
just the beginning.
Right.
Really, it's just the beginning. The Miami Hurricanes, I don't know if we talked about it last week, right? 10 years ago, they go on a party boat with Nevin Shapiro or whatever the hell his name was, right?
Right.
And guess what? They can go on the party boat now and get paid for it. My point is, 10 years ago, Miami's program was threatened with the death penalty because of stuff like that.
Right.
And here we are, right?
Yep. Crazy. But that's big news. National Football League Hall of Fame, and we talked about this. We had some emails from one of our loyal listeners,
We
James
certainly
Smith,
did, Mr. Smith.
who's a big Cowboys fan.
He is,
and
and I want to acknowledge Mr. Smith. I mentioned Hollywood Henderson last week.
no need for a retraction.
No, but it was just my quick memory on that. I mean, Henderson stripped the ball, but Mike Hagman returned it.
Right.
I think as I was speaking, I forgot about Hollywood Henderson on the reverse, on that kickoff that made his name, right? Like, he's famous for a couple plays, really, okay?
Famous for a lot of
And that was one of them. And, Jim Smith pointed that out. Love it, but I know what you're going to lead to. And Jim Smith, our loyal listener, sent an email regarding Cliff Harris. And Cliff Harris, as a Cowboy fan, Jim's a Cowboy fan, number 43.
Yep.
He's well deserving of finally getting in the Hall of Fame.
And it
I
took,
can't
like,
wait for a speech.
what this guy's sitting on the sidelines with guys like Harold Carmichael and Bill Cowher. They're going in, Jimmy Johnson, and this went in as different, right? This wasn't the Hall of Fame like Peyton's going in right today.
Howie Long. Warren Sapp.
No, don't even joke. But this centennial thing or whatever it was with the NFL Hall of Fame guys like Cliff Harris, Bill Cowher, Alex Karras, Winston Hill,
Yeah.
the Jets,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Steve Sable, who I
We
must have mentioned it before.
You did.
because
We covered him for about 10 minutes.
How
on the
long
show.
overdue was that,
Wow.
right?
Yeah. I may get emotional when in fact, I know I'll get emotional when I
Me
watch
too.
it.
Me too.
Well deserving.
Yep. But Drew Pearson's going in, and
Well
Cliff Harris.
deserved. Well deserving.
And what was there was a line
This is going to be a fun broadcast.
from it was
Watch
George
it.
Allen called Cliff Harris an obstructionist, which means He's on this side of the field. Go to the other side of the field, or this play doesn't stand a chance.
Right. And then there's another famous clip of Cliff Harris when Roy Jarrella misses a field goal.
Yeah.
He's breaking his
Pats him on the
breaking
head.
his balls, and Jack Lambert came over and shoved him a little more than a shove. But that was Cliff Harris. You know?
Right.
He was in your face and well deserving.
But the NFL Hall of Fame, listen, Peyton Manning, you and I couldn't spend
Not
more
even
than
a debate.
0.2 seconds
Right.
talking about
Not
it.
even. Not even.
But Woodson, I agree. But Calvin Johnson, I'm not so sure about. I thought he should have waited.
No, first ballot. I was spot on that. I don't even know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Charles Woodson, Hall of Famer. But good luck to these guys. But
First ballot, not even a debate.
But
Charles
Cliff
Woodson.
Harris getting his due today
Sure.
is going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
Very happy about
Yep.
that.
The gold jacket.
And another point, we talked about horse racing before, and I wanted to bring this up because, Rasmussen is about to become the all-time winningest trainer. And you go back with sports and horse racing, there's a lot of lore here. And he's about to overtake, Dale Baird as the all-time winningest trainer in North America. That's a big note. That's a note.
Yeah.
That's a point of interest, I thought, for our horse racing fans.
Sure.
Let's move on to our final segment, Steve. Notable passings.
Yeah.
And, something really hit us hard today was this Greg Knapp thing. How tragic was this? I mean,
I heard about it earlier in the week.
58 years old.
I heard about it earlier in the week.
But he lingered for a week.
5 days.
Away.
5 days, and the news didn't sound promising. And then when I heard the news that he passed,
I had no details that it was this, dire.
Yeah, he got hit by a car.
situation.
So obviously, this guy's was a bike enthusiast. He had a helmet on. I guarantee all that. The impact just must have been so just too much.
I know.
And it's God. It
He's
hit.
got a great resume.
It hit me because he's our age, like that type of thing too. So mortality, sense of mortality kind of maybe factored in on this one for me.
Yeah.
But listen, I remember him as
Got quite a resume.
actually. Quarterback coach with Peyton Manning, etc. The Niners, Broncos, and
Steve Young.
Zach Wilson. He was a week away, not even from boarding a plane and coming to Florham Park and being
These
coaching
guys
the
must have
Jets.
spent the past 3 months together
Yeah.
going, this is how we're going to go about it.
Listen, he was married for a long time, and beautiful family, kids, and God, this one hit home.
It was.
It really did, and it's not like Greg Knapp is a household name, but
Sports fans, though, we know
to
who
us,
he is.
it is. But R.I.P. I was very sad about this.
Me too. That was big. Another thing from the world of sports, Wally Goodwin, who was Tiger Woods' coach at Stanford, right? When Tiger won back-to-back, college championships at Stanford.
With Noah Begay.
He was 94 years old.
94 young.
So I think he's got to be in mourning too, because he took him under his wing. And
He died suddenly?
94, yeah. Didn't see that coming.
Wow, no.
Hey, he's notable though.
R.I.P. Absolutely. That's why we're mentioning it.
Actually had a great resume, and even before Tiger Woods was there, he putting this golf team on the map.
Sure.
Wally Goodwin.
He's a Stanford man.
How about this from the world of entertainment? Robbie Steinhardt, lead singer, violinist for Kansas. I know. Say what you want, but they were big.
Right.
They were big back then.
Right. Dust in the wind. If I hear it one more time, I may jump off a bridge.
Exactly.
But,
you can't listen to it now, but you
Carry
can't
on the
deny it.
Wayward Son. I prefer that over
was
Dust
pretty
in the
good.
Wind. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you another Kansas
But this
song.
guy was a player in the music business. He put Kansas on the
Of
map.
course, I understand.
71 years old, I guess. No
Yeah.
surprise, but you know, hey, we cover both the world of entertainment and sports.
Of
right?
course.
And when we have a prominent figure, but the violin is some how long? All right, that version of the
Of
song.
course, that's another one. All right, so there's 3 Kansas songs.
I disagree. I think they had more of an impact. than
Please,
that.
don't even go there.
They didn't have as many hits as Boston did, but Kansas was Robbie Stein, 71.
Yeah,
71.
yeah.
But listen, thanks for joining us, everybody. And like I said, enjoy the Olympics, enjoy the sports that are in full throttle, and send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hear from you guys regularly, but can't wait to give us your feedback on the show. Shout
Absolutely.
out to Tony, right? Who's
Tony.
recovering.
Tony.
Tony.
Hope you're feeling better.
She's all psyched for 49ers training
Of
camp
course she
opening.
is. Of course she is.
But send us an email. Let us know what you think, folks. We can't wait to be here week after week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
You got it. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks.